Shalom. All praises, glory, and honor go unto the Most High Power, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honors unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that rule very well. Shalom, salutations, mercy, and blessings unto you, sincere brothers, the brothers that are seeking to be a part of that hopeful elect, seeking for that perfection. My name is Thabwa Amath of Great Millstone Northwest, and I want to start off real quick with this lesson by reading a passage from Luke the 14th chapter. This is a story that brothers are pretty familiar with. All right, Luke 14 starting at verse 16. All right, I'm gonna just jump straight into it. It says, "Then said he unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many." All right, and I'm not gonna go too far in depth with the breakdown of this. Brothers are pretty familiar with the breakdown of what this all signifies. Of course, it's speaking about the coming of the kingdom of heaven and those that are selected to take part in that. Okay, and then those that are not, or that are, I should say, that are rejected from taking a part of that. Okay, so it says once again, Luke 14:16, "And then he said unto him, a certain man made a great supper and bade many, and sent his servants at supper time to say to them that were bidden, okay, come, for all things are now ready." And those that were bidding, of course, is Yasharallah, is Israel. Okay, Israel is bidden to come to this supper, to partake in the great things to come. Okay, and they with all one consent began to make excuse. The first said unto him, "I have bought a piece of ground, and I must needs go and see it. I pray thee have me excused." And another said, "I have bought 5 yoke of oxen, and I go to prove them. I pray thee have me excused." And another said, "I have married a wife, and therefore I cannot come." Okay, so they made excuses to remain in the world on why they couldn't receive the things that was set before them. All right. So the servant came and showed his lord these things. Then the master of the house, being angry, said to his servant, "Go out quickly into the streets and the lanes of the city, and bring in hither the poor and the maimed and the halt and the blind." All right. And the servant said, "Lord, it is done, and thou hast commanded, or Salakia, as thou hast commanded, and yet there is room." All right. And the Lord said unto his servant, "Go out unto the highways and hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be fulfilled. For I say to you that none of those men which were bidden shall taste of my supper." Okay, so 2/3 rejected it, but guess what? The elect, those that are considered now poor and maimed and halt, all right, the elect, the ones that actually did come to the supper, they're gonna receive of that. They're gonna taste of that supper. All right. As I said, I'm not gonna go too far in depth with that. Really, what the point of it is right here in Luke the 14th chapter, the 23rd verse. "And the Lord said unto the servant, Go out into the highways and the hedges, and compel them to come in, that my house may be fulfilled," or may be filled. Salakia. All right. So, and that's our job. That's the reason we go out in the streets, is that we may compel them, who is them, the members of the elect, to come in, so that way the house can be filled. All right, that all those slots, those the 144,000 slots that was promised in the book of Revelation, okay, that all of those slots may be fulfilled. That's the reason we go out into the highways and the hedges, go out to the people, so we can cast that net and bring in the good harvest. Okay, so really, I want to harp on this word compel, okay, because we are compelled, us being the men of the truth, the men that understand the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding of the scriptures. All right, we are compelled to, we're compelled for 2 things. We're compelled, first of all, to be a servant of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai. Also, we are compelled to actually go out and compel the other members of the elect, or the other members that can receive this knowledge, to actually come in, so that way the house can be filled. All right. So I want to look at this word compelled. First, I want to grab it off the Google. All right, compel, and it means what Google says it means is force or oblige someone to do something. All right, bring about something by the use of force or pressure, to drive forcibly. Okay, so that's what the word compel means in the dictionary, in the modern sense today. Is to force or oblige someone to do something, to bring about something by the use of force or pressure, or to drive forcibly. Okay, and really we're driven forcibly by the Spirit to actually fulfill this as a commandment, to go out on the highways and the hedges, to be able to compel them to come in, that the house may be fulfilled, to persuade other men to the truth about everything in existence, man. The truth about Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Okay, I want to look up some synonyms for compel. It means constrain, enforce, exact, impel, necessitate, oblige, urge. All right, those are the main ones. They're highlighted bright orange because those are the ones that is the most potent to that word. All right, it says up here a verb to force to act. All right, so we are sent to pretty much drive forcibly, with using the Spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, to call out to other men that also understand this truth. Okay, now let me get this word compel in the blue letter from Luke the 14th verse, the 14th chapter, the 23rd verse, Salakia. It says it's the G 315. The word look like anan kazo. Okay, it says to necessitate, compel, drive to, constrain by force, threats, etc. Which what would be the threat? That, if you don't come over to this truth, that you're, what I'm saying? If you don't realize your calling, that you're going to be destroyed, man. That's a threat. But that's not an empty threat like the world issues. That's a threat that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai will actually enforce. Okay? It says by permission, in treaties, meaning that there's going to be some reward to it. All right, and what will be the reward? The kingdom of heaven, man. All right, and everything, all the riches that come with it. It says or by other means, which another mean that would help necessitate or compel or drive somebody to the truth is just the Spirit in itself. All right, the Spirit alone is enough to drive you to actually go and do this work, to actually go out to the highways and the hedges and compel others to do the same thing. Okay, so that's pretty much the point, that compel. All right, I looked it up on the Edom Online, etymology dictionary online, edomonline.com. All right, compel, the verb from the mid 14th century, from Old French, compeller, Salakia, if I'm butchering that, which I most likely am, from Latin complere, to drive together, drive to one place. All right, it's of cattle, to force or compel of persons. All right, together, to drive. Compelling is an adjective. All right, meaning irresistible, which the Spirit, once you get into the Spirit, it is irresistible, man. There's no running from it. It says compulsory and Salakia, man. I'm not the best at reading some of these words, so bear with me with that. All right, it says pretty much to drive together, force, compel, and you know brothers get the point of what the word means. Pretty much drive together, to force, and then also to compel itself, which when we looked it up on Google means to force, oblige, drive forcibly, bring about something by the use of force or pressure. So that's what that word compel means. And again, what was stated? That we was to go into the highways and the hedges and compel them to come in. All right. And that's, you know, that's what we here in the Great Millstone, that's what we do, that's what we accomplish. All right. No matter what the weather situation is, you know, no matter what the circumstances is, we go out to the highways and the hedges to compel them to come in. All right. Why? Because we ourselves is compelled, because we are actually servants of the Most High Power, Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. All right. When the Lord said this unto the servant, he was compelling that servant to go and do this. Okay. I want to grab another scripture. This is from 1 Corinthians, the Apostle Paul speaking, the 9th chapter, starting at the 16th verse. It says, "For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me." And you remember, necessitate was one of the words, one of the synonyms for the word compel. Okay, it says, "For necessity is laid upon me. Yeah, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel." Okay, so if we don't go out there and compel the people, you know, out there on the highways and the byways, and compel the people to come in to this wonderful supper that's been laid out before them, then it's going to be destruction unto us. That word woe means destruction. All right, just for the edification of it, we're going to go ahead and grab that word. Woe comes from the Greek 3759, and it looks like uai, and if I'm pronouncing that wrong again, Salakia. Alas, woe. We can look it up on Google and see what it says. It says great sorrow or distress. All right, things that cause sorrow or distress, troubles. All right, trouble. Just some synonyms: trouble, difficulty, problem, trial, tribulation, misfortune, setback, reverse. All right, sadness, unhappiness, heartache, heartbreak, despair, depression, regret, gloom. All right, so the list goes on and on. It's pretty much, it's destruction that's going to be onto you if you preach not this gospel. That's what Paul's saying. All right, because necessity was laid upon you, because that compel, you know, you was compelled to do such a thing. Go and preach the gospel. So for though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory of, for necessity is laid upon me. Yeah, woe is unto me if I preach not the gospel. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. Which, when you look up that word dispensation, and I see this is already the third word I'm looking up, but I'm trying to make this quick. I don't really want to make this too long. Dispensation, and the word look like oikonomia, and Salakia if I'm mispronouncing that again. All right, the management of a household or of household affairs, significantly the management, oversight, administration of others' property, the office of a manager or overseer, stewardship, administration, dispensation. Okay, so if not of your will, then that office of the gospel is committed onto me. Okay, or committed onto you. Still yet you're in that situation. You still have that job to do, you know, even if it's against your will. But you should be doing this thing willingly, man. All right, if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward, right? But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed onto me. All right, which means that it's a job you got to do. All right, and it continues on to say, what is my reward then? All right, what's your reward if you're just doing this as a job? Oh, I gotta go and do this. Then what's your reward going to be, man? Because you should be doing this willingly, man. All right, even though you are compelled to do it, you are obligated to do it, you are pressured to do it, you should be doing it willingly. When the Spirit's really working with you, all right, and you really have that wisdom, that knowledge, and understanding, you'll find pleasure in doing this great work and being a servant to Yahweh Shai. Okay, so it says what is my reward then? Verily that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Yahweh Shai without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. Okay, and you do get power in the gospel. They tell you, you know, growing up, I heard it quite often. They tell you that knowledge is power. Well, what do you gain? You gain wisdom, you gain knowledge, and you gain understanding. All right, mainly that knowledge being the scriptures, the truth behind the scriptures. Okay, which is power. And you got a lot of guys that's out there that want to abuse that power, that want to use that power for their own vain glory, when it's not about that, man. All right, we was given this power strictly to be able to reach the elect. Okay, strictly for the edification of the elect. That is the only reason we have this knowledge. Okay? And it doesn't make sense for you to have the knowledge and then not use it in the correct fashion, as far as going out and actually preaching this word as we was told to do, or as the story said in the book of Luke, in Luke the 14th chapter. Okay, it shows you that in Luke the 14th chapter, as we went over, okay, that you are compelled to go out there on the highways and the byways. Why? As we just figured out, should I say, using 1 Corinthians, that, you know, we have to do this for necessity, man. All right, or else it's going to be destruction unto you. Okay, so that's another driving force for you to actually be going out there on the highways and the byways preaching this word, man, reaching the elect. All right, as we were called forth to do. Here is Luke chapter 9. I want to get verse 62. It says, "And Yahushua said unto him, No man having put his hand to the plow and looking back is fit for the kingdom." Okay, so if you start this work, you're gonna have to finish it, man. All right, because you got plenty of examples of guys that actually go out, put their hand to the plow, and then you know, through the course of whatever, they stop, and then, you know, hey, those guys are not fit for the kingdom, as it's written in plain English. All right, so you know, hey, pretty much that's the point of the lesson. You know, you are compelled to actually go out there and to do this work. If you have the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, then you're compelled to go out there and do this work, man. You know, as simple as that. So Lord willing, the message was received. Once again, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor unto the Most High Power, Yahweh Bahashim Yahushai. Double honors go unto the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that continually feed the flock. All right, and is very worthy of the double honors, because they rule well. All right, and I want to give a special salutations, peace, mercy, and blessings unto you sincere brothers that's out there that, you know, that have been compelled to go and do this work and that answer that call. Okay, until next time, I would like to say shalom.